Words can create worlds. What makes for good writing? We'll find out today on Into the Words. Welcome to Into the Words. I'm your host, Mr. McGrath. Today we have an informational writing from Keating, and this is a superb piece of writing. It's about his family, and this is a great topic, by the way, to write about because it's something you know a lot about for an informational writing. Instead of doing a lot of research, you already have it all done. You've been living the research. And he came up with a great title here, Kindness and Respect, A Guide to Family Life. And with the colon there and the subtitle, that's great. And what I want to point out here is, yes, it's very well organized. Clear introduction, 2 paragraphs for the body, and then a clear conclusion, topic sentences. But what I really want to point out here are some of his word choices and also how he develops the topic with concrete details. Okay, so as opposed to saying, oh, my brother and I get along pretty well, he'll give you a concrete detail to really develop the topic. And that's something that makes for a great informational writing. Let's read Keating's superb work here, Kindness and Respect, A Guide to Family Life. In January, my grandmother asked my family and my cousin's family to go to Santa Barbara, California. She invited us to join her on a weekend that was extremely inconvenient for my family, but we still made the trip. We went because California means a lot to my grandma because she grew up there. Even though the time that it took to get there and back was almost equal to the amount of time we were in Santa Barbara, my parents, my brother, and I still had fun traveling. On our way to Santa Barbara, the airline canceled one of our flights, and we had to stay in Dallas, Texas for 24 hours. We slept in a nice hotel, visited 3 of the best museums in Texas, and enjoyed some tasty meals. Even though I only saw my grandma at 2 lunches and 1 dinner, I still had fun seeing my other family members over horseback and on wine tours. My mother, my father, my brother Finn, and I live in the Ardsley Park neighborhood of Savannah, Georgia. Our family dynamic is usually positive and kind. Finn and I have a love-hate relationship and sometimes get mad at one another. My mother and father get along quite well with only some minor disagreements. My parents are always nice to Finn and me, unless we have done something wrong, in which case it is perfectly normal for them to correct us. Usually we only get in trouble when we've done something really, really bad to the other brother. Our family values kindness and respect because that approach makes everybody feel good inside and treat each other well. This makes us happy with one another. It also makes for a good living environment. I know that our family values religion because Finn and I acolyte every 4 weeks or so. This is when we help out in the church service by dressing in a white alb and carrying a cross or a candle or a Bible. We go to church about every other week. Before I go to bed at night, one of my parents sits with me and I say a prayer. We also pray before dinner. In general, my family treats me the way they were taught in church to treat others, with kindness and respect. Other families could learn from mine that no matter what you go through, your family bond will mend if you treat people with kindness and respect. For example, Finn and I get into fights, and then 20 minutes later, we're back to being best friends. Based upon my experience, families are happiest when everyone is doing the best they can to get along well with the rest of the family and are being as helpful as they can be. Our family does not need to improve. Nobody is perfect, so we do not need to try to be a perfect family. There's no use in my family trying to attain some illusory perfection when we can easily attain happiness without perfection. Ooh, nice point there at the end, huh? And an excellent writing altogether. Let me just point out a couple of things. When he says our family values religion, look then, this is a great example. Look at then what he does is he gives you concrete details, examples. He says, well, we acolyte, we go to church, we're participating, we say prayers at night, we pray before dinner, and we actually take the lessons we've learned in church and apply them to how we treat each other. So you see how he develops the topic. He doesn't just say, well, we're religious, or even we go to a church, but he gives a lot of concrete details there to flesh it out. And even when he's talking about how he gets along with his brother, all the details make it come together. And that's why this is a writing we can all learn from. Thank you, Keating, for giving us a glimpse into your family life. Maybe it can make all of our families a little kinder and more respectful. And I will see you then next time on Into the Words.